Well, thanks for joining us ahead of your next game at home to Burton Albion. But you did what you've done quite well this season. If you suffer defeat, you bounce back in pretty good style in midweek.
Yeah, like I said after the game, I thought it was a fully justified victory. I thought we were the better of the two teams. If anything, it should have been a bit more comfortable against a good team. You know, Doncaster are a good team. The new manager hasn't lost before Tuesday, so you know they're going to be there or thereabouts. So you know we've beat them twice this year now, so it's two impressive performances against a good team. So yeah, it was important that we didn't have a hangover from a real poor performance on Saturday, and the lads was terrific. So yeah, back on it, but one result doesn't make a season or a run or any sort of form, you know. So we've got to make sure we back it up again tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Keeping a run going now is just the perfect time, isn't it? And what you've got to do is you've said on those odd occasions when you have dipped a little bit, if you're not at it, it bites you where it hurts, doesn't it, the game of football?
Yeah, you know, it's a tough league. We know it's a tough league. And we've got to try and put a run together, home and away. And if we do that, then we'll be in the mix for as long as we can be. But we've got to put a little run together. It's not beyond us. So we've got all to play for. I'm sure if the supporters said a dozen games to go, you just have a chance to get to the playoffs, I think everyone would snatch your hand off, and that's the situation we're in. We'd like to be a little bit closer or even in them, but you know we're looking upwards rather than downwards, which for this first season back here in League One is no mean feat. And we've got to continue doing that. We've got to progress. Like I said before, every year since I've been manager, we've improved our league position, and we're obviously going to do that being a league high this year. But we don't just settle for mediocrity or just doing enough. Really strive, and if you do that, you never know where it might take us, and we're still striving.
Yeah, that time is right, isn't it? You've seen it for many, many years that somebody in some division comes through with that late run, and the first thing is it's a testimony to how well you've done that you're part of that particular group of clubs.
Yeah, well, when I was here as a player and we got promoted, I think we were in the playoffs for 2 weeks, all season. It just so happened to be the last 2 weeks of the season. And obviously the rest is history, as I say, but that's I think we were 17 unbeaten, something like that, by the end of the season. But because we started from such a low point, we were always playing catch up. Are we always been playing catch up? I suppose we have, because we've never been in them. But we've got to keep believing we can get there, because that's what we did when I was here as a player, and we can do that again.
You're taking a lot of plaudits for the way that you've gone about your business at home with, you know, like everybody else has. It's not the support that's been there, unfortunately, to cheer you on and help you out when required. You're the third best in League One at home, with some real big clubs way down and behind you. I think it's Peterborough and Doncaster are the only two just in front of you with a home record, which is going into tomorrow, 11 unbeaten.
I didn't know that. It's a terrific stat. But then I think if we're mid-table, wherever we are, it must show that we've got to improve our away form. As much as the plaudits can come for that, we've got to make sure we're as hard to beat and as good away from home. I think that'll probably define where we end up this season.
Looking ahead to the next game, Burton come along. There's a few reunions in terms of on the playing side. When you look at it, John Brayford, Ben Garrett, I know Luke Varney's not quite in the squad, and then Luke Murphy's played for both clubs. So it's a bit of an interest there, as well as how well Burton are going.
Yeah, look, I think I really like Burton as a football club. I think they're well run. The chairman's been there a long time. He runs it really well. He seems a real passionate guy about his football club, and you have to admire that. So, there's lots of similarities in terms of size and how it's run. And then you get onto the staff, if you like, and there's been a lot of crossover currently and in previous times. So, yeah, I think, there's the relationships between the two clubs. I'm not sure what they're like at board level. I can't imagine them being acrimonious, because I've listened to the Burton chairman give a talk on one of the courses they were on, and he seemed a very nice chap. And I know our board are terrific. So I think there'll be a lot of mutual respect between clubs, both clubs at each level. So, you know, that'll continue tomorrow from our side, that's for sure. So hopefully we get the 3 points, because that's, you know, what really matters, but we don't want to damage relationships in the meantime.
Hey, I bet you wish you were playing David Artell centre half, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank centre forward. Bet you wouldn't mind that little test, would you?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I think I'd have to kick him once or twice, but you're a good player, Jimmy.
He's gone back there and things have rocketed, haven't they? You know, they're in terrific form. I think it's the best form they've had for many, many years. So, you know, he's turned it around. What are you expecting?
Well, I think they've won 5 on the spin. So I'm pretty certain they'll be top of the form table. Maybe Peterborough, I'm not sure. But either way, they'll probably be the hardest. We've had a real tough run. You know, Accrington, who were in the playoffs, Blackpool, who were pushing for the playoffs, Sunderland, Doncaster, Lincoln. They're all in and around the playoffs. You know, and we've done, won a couple, drawn a couple, and lost one. And you go, well, that's not a bad return from that little group of fixtures. However, this will be the hardest game. Ain't no bones about it. This will be the hardest game. They're in great form. So we've got to make sure we're right on the metal. Any complacency will be, I'm sure, punished, because they're in great form, like you've just said. They're in probably the form of their, you know, most recent history, which says a lot, because they've had a lot of success in the last 10, 15 years. So, you know, we've got to make sure that we are absolutely on it tomorrow. Anything less, we could get punished.
Just want to talk a little bit about the goalkeeping situation as well, and just go to Ben Garrett first of all. It was a tough decision, wasn't it, in the end, to say your farewells from your side and from, I should imagine, from his side as well. Nearly 250 games for you. Yeah. But he's been patient and he's got in at the first team now at Burton.
Yeah, what I'd say about Benny was an absolute top professional. Lovely lad, top professional. And you know, I think the truth is, if we had a lot more money, he'd have probably still been here, but we didn't. And that's the tough decisions we had to make. Don't get me wrong, I was delighted that he got another club first. And I'm delighted to see he's playing, because he's good enough to play in League One, that's for sure. There was a lot of talk when we made that decision about we've made the right or wrong decision. I think it's sort of been proven that we've probably made the right decision, because we've got 2 terrific goalkeepers in Will and Trigger. And I don't think we've missed Ben too much. And that's not being detrimental to Ben. I think it's more to do with Will and Trigger. So I think the timing was probably about right. I think that decision was probably justified. But listen, we wish Ben all the best. Like I say, he's one of the nicest fellas you could wish to meet. And I'm sure we'll have a catch-up tomorrow and wish him good luck. Just not tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
It's been an interesting competition, hasn't it, though, in your particular department, between Trigger and, which of course is Dave Richards and Willie Askelainen. And all of a sudden now Dave Richards is getting his run in the team. How do you think it's going?
He's done fine. I wouldn't say he's done like miraculous, but he's done fine. He's held his place, so he's been mistake-free. There's been the odd little thing. You know, he spilled one on Coppinger, whipped one round the wall. He spilled one on Tuesday night. Was it, you know, a massive mistake? No. Another time, could the lad stick it in? Maybe, but he gets away with one if you like. There's lots of that, you know, there's not lots of them, but the more of them you do, the more likely it's going to become a mistake. So he's got to make sure that he's as mistake-free as possible. So he's not done anything wrong so far, if you like. So, you know, that's, if the boot was on the other foot and that was Will, we'd be saying, no, he's competent and he's doing what he needs to do. And so there's no, you know, he's got the shirt and he's got to keep it. It's as simple as that. And if he doesn't, we've got a good goalkeeper behind him who will come in and and get the shirt and stay in himself. So, you know, like I said to you on previous occasions, we've got two real good goalkeepers, and they've got to keep pushing each other. And when they get in the team, they've got to be mistake-free and stay in there. And that's what they've both done this year at different times.
Any news for the supporters on your contract talks with your players? What, anything developing? You said, you know, things might have been developing. Umar Beckles, and any updates? Ryan Wintle and people like that, Callum Ainley?
Talks are ongoing.
Is it just a difficult time to get through to talking, you know, at length to try and get things sorted, or is that the way it has to be?
It's always difficult to get through to agents. That's the truth. That's not being derogatory towards agents. They've got their own responsibilities and their own criteria. You know, I've always, whenever I speak to the players or agents, I try and see it from their point of view, and negotiate and give, if you like, and you know, so that there's a mutual agreement somewhere in the middle. There's a lot of agents that don't want to do that, which is understandable. I get it, you know, but that's the tough part of the job. It's a real tough part of the job. That's why most managers now are becoming head coaches, because it is a real heavy part of the job, if you like. So it's tough, it's incessant, but we'll reach conclusions one way or the other. It's as simple as that.
And the other side of it as well is you've always got some players who come through in your setup that you talk to try and improve their contracts and get them on extended ones as well. So there's other areas as well, not just the main group.
Yeah, we've got, I can't remember the number, but it's a lot. We've got 15, 16 out of contract, something like that. You know, so we've got to make sure that all of them get looked after. Some are easier than others. Some have got not a lot of leverage because they haven't played the games, or they're young, or they've been injured. Others have got a lot of leverage because they've played every single minute of every single game or whatever. So that's the spectrum. And we have to deal with them, you know, as quickly as we can to move on to the next. But they tend to take time.